Hey, this is Corey from Reliance, and in today's video we're going to talk about bugging out. Now this is Caroline and I's bug out bag. We share the same bag. I'm not going to show you what's in it because I don't want you to see a lot of the things that are in here, but I do want to talk about bugging out in general. Now I'm from the mindset where I plan on going down with this ship, right? I don't plan on bugging out unless I absolutely have to. And to be honest, in most situations, I personally feel bugging out is going to put me in the same or worse situation, meaning there's no advantage to bugging out most of the time. You're leaving behind all of your resources. You're leaving behind a lot of your security. You're leaving behind so much that I don't see an advantage to bugging out. Now, with that being said, if a tornado came through and took out this house, yes, I would have to bug out to safer locations. If there was a fire, I would have to bug out. There are reasons to bug out, but if I bug out, plan A is to go to a family member's house. Plan B is to go to a friend's house. Plan C is to get a hotel. After that, we'd probably stay at a family member's house outside of the state. We would stay at a friend's house outside of the state. We would get a hotel outside of the state. We would try to rent a room from somebody, month to month or week to week, whatever it is, whatever we need. We would try to rent a room from somebody. And if all that didn't work, we would try to rent a apartment, and we would probably sign a 2-year lease and have an apartment and this place, and we would try to make that work. And so if I have, after all of that, all of that, if I can't do any of those things, I'd probably have to bug out into the woods. But in order for me to bug out into the woods, it would mean that this house cannot be lived in. I can't stay here, because bugging out into the woods and bugging out into my backyard is the same thing. The only difference is I can scavenge for the food that was in here. I can scavenge for the tools that were in here, right? And so bugging out into the woods, bugging out into a wilderness situation is so far removed from what I would do that this bug out bag right here has no wilderness survival in it. It has no, inside of here is work clothes, because we have to keep going to work. Most situations, you still got to wake up in the morning. You still got to go to work. Even if you do take a couple of days off, you still got to go to work. You still got to make money. You still got to pay the bills in most cases, right? The other thing that's in here is I have a credit card that has no monthly fee. And so it just lives in here. Again, I don't want to show you that. The other thing is I got spare vehicle keys, so that if there's a fire, if my smoke alarms are going off and I grab this, I have keys to the vehicle. I have food for the dog. I have socks, underwear. Again, things I don't want to show you. This is all things that if I was going to stay at a friend's house for a weekend, I could bring this as well, right? Everything I need is in here. There's cash in here as well as the Visa, because sometimes when things are bad, credit cards don't work, right? The credit card machines don't work, and you need cash to pay for things like gas and food. And so I have some cash in here. I have a Visa in here. There's nothing in here that will help me in the wilderness. And so that's something that I want to talk about. I feel like it's important, because so many people, when they think of a bug out bag, it's chock full of knives and flashlights and camp cooking and all of these things that you would take camping with you. But then when you have to bug out and you're staying in some sort of a shelter, or like the hurricane, a lot of people were staying in makeshift shelters. A lot of that stuff isn't going to help you, right? Cash, money, communications. You need your cell phone so you can call for help, so that people can come pick you up, or you got to let your parents know that you're coming and staying with them, or you know what I mean? And so your bug out bag should be able to support the situation that you're going into. And the reason I like the Rush 72 is it's got this big flap in the front here. And so I can stuff, if I need extra sweatshirts because it's winter, if I need a jacket, if I need extra stuff, I can just shove it in there and then clap this shut, and then I have extra stuff, right? This whole front pocket here, there's a large front pocket in this bag. This is empty. If I need to throw extra socks, underwear, if I need to throw dog leash or collar, or if I need to throw extra stuff in here, I can do that. This whole section right here can fit more stuff. And so I like this feature of this bag. And so even if I do have to bug out and I need a cook stove or I need some stuff, I can shove it in here real quick and I can be on my way. So I really like the Rush 72. Again, the things that are in here, nothing in here is going to help me in a survival situation. Nothing in here is going to help me in the wilderness. I don't have a tarp in here. I don't have 55-gallon drum liners. I don't have fire starting materials. Everything in here is going to be, I have a microwave inside my hotel. And so I need to make that microwave work. I have my parents' house. I have everything I need at my parents' house. I have everything I need at a friend's house, right? Pajamas. There's things to sleep in here because, again, I don't want to sleep in my underwear at a friend's house or a relative's house. I want to have something I can change into when I'm not working. And so all of that is inside of here for both me and Caroline. And that brings up when I think of bugging out, right? That's where I'm going. That's where I'm heading. That's where most people go. That's where most people head, right? When you think of, we've been through 2 world wars, global pandemics, a Great Depression, a lot of different things have taken place and everybody just stayed home, right? A lot of bad things have happened. In Minneapolis, there was civil unrest and they burnt down the police station. They looting in the street. Targets, Walmarts were all getting looted and people stayed home, right? The civil unrest happened. People stayed home. The global pandemic, people stayed home. The wars that have taken place, people have stayed home, right? And so it's not, bugging out to me is this glamorous thing that people talk about, but they don't take it serious, right? If there are people after me, right, I'm staying home. Because if I'm in the wilderness, if I'm in the woods, they can come at me from any direction. They can sneak up on me. I am at such a disadvantage being in the woods. If I'm at home, I know all the entrances. I can close all these curtains. I can board up all these windows. You have no clue if I'm home or if I'm not home. You have no clue which room I'm in. You have no clue where I am. I have so much more advantage being inside this house than I do in the middle of the wilderness. And especially now with drones and different things that they can fly over and find your exact location with thermal imaging and all of that. I'm so much safer inside this home than I would be in the woods. If there was a natural disaster and a tornado leveled out this house, going to a family member's house, I'm so much better off there than I am in the woods. Camping out in my backyard, right? If a tornado came and tore all this apart, camping in my backyard means that I still have access to all of my tools and things. They might be thrown across the yard. They might be in my neighbor's yard. I might have to go and find some things. But having access to all these things means that I can rebuild. I can clean things up. You know what I mean? If I bug out into the woods, there's nothing I can do there. right? There's nothing. Being in the woods isn't going to help me in any way, shape, or form. And so I keep running through all these scenarios. If my house starts on fire, right? Again, being in my parents' house is going to be way better than being here. Even if it all burns down and there's absolutely nothing left, if I have this bag, I can still work. I can still make money. I can still rebuild. I have my phone so that I can call the insurance companies. I can call whoever I need to call to make sure that I get the insurance to rebuild and get all the things that I need. What other scenarios are there? I mean, flooding. If it's flooding in my area, if it floods, it's because a pipe bursts and I need to turn the water off. But if there is flooding, right? Again, I don't see how bugging out into the woods is going to help me because the woods are going to be flooded too, right? Bug out to the woods so I can climb a tree. I'm going to be in a worse situation than I would be anywhere else. It's just I can't think of a situation where bugging out into the woods would make me better. Like I'd be safer. I'd have more priorities. I'd have more equipment, more gear, more anything. I can't think of any situation. I'm trying to think of there's got to be one exception, right? Because so many people talk about bugging out into the woods, but I can't think of anything that would put me in the woods and in a better situation, right? Not a worse situation, but a better situation. I can't think of anything. With all the other, I can rent an apartment. You know what I mean? If I lose all of this, I can rent an apartment and be better off in the apartment building than I can in the middle of the woods. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. In the comment section, let me know. Is my bug out bag enough for 99% of things, right? If I can spend a week at my friend's house comfortably with this bag, I feel if I can borrow their washing machine and I feel like if I can borrow their washing machine and dryer, this week's worth of clothes and stuff can get me by for a really, really long time. I feel like it's not much different than being here, right? The thing that I use the most is the washing machine. I need clean clothes for work. Caroline needs clean clothes for work. And if we have clean clothes, we're probably going to be living not much different at a friend's house than we do here. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm rambling on and on. I'm trying to think of why people think bugging out into the woods is a good idea. And I can't think of a single good reason. Even like people are like, oh, you can hunt in the woods. And it's like, yeah, but name a time when there was no bartering, no grocery stores, no markets. How far back do you have to go where people are hunting and fishing for their food because none of those things exist anymore? And again, if you don't have a garden, right? You can't live on just meat alone. You need a variety. And so, and the situation that's taking place that is making you bug out, why is it not happening in the woods? You know what I mean? Like if this whole area is on fire and is burning down, like if there's a giant forest fire, right? Why is it happening here and not there? If the government's after you, right? How can they not find you in the forest? Like if you're in the woods and there's again, hundreds of thousands of people in the woods because that's where everybody's going to bug out into the woods. There's going to be thousands and thousands of people taking up not a lot of acreage. How are they not going to find you there, but they will find you at your house? How are you safer there than you are at your house? I feel like I can combat more things here at home. I can't carry all of my firearms into the woods. I can't carry all of my ammunition into the woods. I can't carry my gardens into the woods, right? I don't understand, how does being in the woods make you safer, better prepared? How do you have everything you need in the woods without bringing the problems with you, right? If you bring the problem with you and you run out of food and you can't start a fire because it's raining or there's snow or you don't want to give up your location, and so now you have to worry about hypothermia, and the problems, I feel, stack. I don't think they get better. I'm trying my best here. I'm trying to make a video that's informative, but the only thing I can do is complain about how it doesn't make any sense to me. And so I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your opinions. I want you to think about bugging out seriously, because I honestly, truly feel a bug out bag full of outdoor gear is worthless, right? I would rather have more clothes. I would rather have more underwear than any of that survival stuff. I would rather be able to continue life as normal from a different location than bug out into the woods and have to struggle to survive. And so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I completely out of touch with reality. Let me know in that comment section. Subscribe if you want to hear more of my thoughts and ideas on personal preparedness and self-reliance. And I cannot wait to see you on my next video. I was going to stop recording and restart it and try to come up with something, but I've been trying this whole video and I can't think of a single thing that would put me in the woods and feel better. Like I feel better being in the woods than I do in my own home or in the comfort of a friend or family member's house or an apartment even. Like, I don't know. Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.